bringing another animal home. And it's a bit of an unusual one. It's probably not one that you would guess. So I'm going to give you a minute to guess now. So write down in the comment section below what you think my new animal is. So it's quite an unusual one, but I'm lucky enough to live on a farm, so we've got lots of land, and basically a farmer that we know is retiring and basically said, did I want this animal? And I said yes, he can come live here. So I'm going to show you what he is now. Ta-da! So this here is Blue. Blue is a llama. So I'm going to film a voiceover for this part because the wind in the paddock was crazy. But this is Blue, and Blue is obviously a llama. He is around 15, 16 years old, something like that. They weren't 100% sure. And I think llamas live to about 25. Obviously I haven't done a huge amount of research on llamas because it was a bit spur of the moment. They just said, do you want him? And I said yes, and here he is. So I do need to do a huge amount of research. Normally I like to prepare a lot better for animals that I bring home. Normally I think about it for a long time, get all the stuff, do all the research and then bring them home. Well, that's sort of the way I try and do it. But obviously because it was spur at the moment, we haven't done that. I do have a book about them and I've been looking a lot online. If any of you guys do know anything about llamas and have any good resources, then please do send me a link or a message, then that would be really, really helpful. But sort of for the moment, I'm going to play it by ear and see how we go. So the plan is to tame him. He, I believe, was halter broken at one point, but sort of when he was quite young, and then hasn't really been handled a huge amount since. He was on a sheep farm and was just sort of turned out with the sheep. Llamas are quite often used as protection animals, so they're quite often in sort of flocks of sheep. So he was just brought in every year for worming with the sheep, and I believe they're only clipping him sort of every few years. They don't produce fibre like alpacas, which need to be shorn a lot more often. They're not really used for their fibre that much. They're more used for protection animals, or sort of originally they were used for pack animals, so for carrying loads of stuff. So yeah, he's not been handled a huge amount, so our plan is to sort of tame him. So when we first brought him home, we would sort of walk up to him and he would just walk away. So he seems really sweet. He's not showed us any signs of aggression. He's basically just doesn't really want an awful lot to do with us. So over the last sort of couple of weeks that we've had him, we've been working with him on this. So we bought him some llama and alpaca mix. To begin with, we were sort of trying bits of apple and carrot and that sort of thing, but he didn't seem bothered at all. So we did end up buying him some, it's sort of a muesli mix. So it's meant as like a feed, but we're using it as a treat. Obviously because he's got grazing and sort of access to grazing 24/7, he's eating a lot of grass, and he quite likes thistles. Also the hedge, he tends to eat hazel out of the hedge. So he tends to sort of forage for foods that he likes. So it's being used more as a treat, but a healthy treat as well, that's hopefully going to help him to get all the nutrition that he needs. Like I say, I haven't done a huge amount of research yet, so don't quote me on any of this, and if anyone knows better then please do let me know. But that's sort of what we're doing at the moment, is using this muesli mix as a treat. So we started off by putting it in a bucket in the field. Obviously he wouldn't come up to us, so we left it there and that was it. And then we started sort of going out and shaking the bucket, and then he did sort of come up to us. He was a bit hesitant, but he does now eat out of the bucket in our hand. So he currently won't let us touch him, but that's a massive step that he'll come up to us and eat out of the bucket. So I'm more than happy about that. So the idea is that we do get him halter broken, and this will be quite important for us, or at least to have him tame, so we can do things like foot trimming and shearing him, and sort of health checks, and also if we need to move him paddocks, that would be a lot easier if we could get him on a halter. So I'll insert some clips now of when he arrived. So basically the previous owners sort of had him in a stable for when we arrived, and we just reversed the trailer back up to the stable, so we didn't need to sort of catch him then. We just sort of shooed him into the trailer and then sort of parked the trailer in the field and just let him out. So I'll insert a clip of him sort of coming out and exploring. So he has made really good friends with the horses. He's made friends with the Shetlands and a couple of big horses as well. So none of the horses on our land are ours. We just run a livery yard, so if you see any horses, don't get too excited because none of them belong to me. But I do have the amazing experience of being able to see them every day, which is really, really cool. And I don't have to do any cleaning out or anything like that. So yeah, this is Blue. If you do have any questions, then let me know down below and I will try and answer them as best I can. And a huge welcome to Blue to the family. Got Pony, 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 Llama, all waiting for their tea. So I thought I'd just show you the chickies. So this is coming up to their shed. So this is their outside. I'll just go in so I can show you a bit better. Okay, so these are the only big ones we have left. So they're all quite old now. We used to have quite a few chickens, but they've all just sort of got old and then passed away. So these are the only ones we have left. So they're not really laying anymore. They're just sort of in a little retirement home. So this is their like daytime run. So they come out, they've got this whole area in the mornings, and then in the afternoons we just let them out completely and they can potter around sort of the stables as well. So they've got a water drinker and stuff out here. So it's just the three girls and our lovely cockerel, who is beautiful. And then they have their shed, which obviously is open at the moment, but we close it off at night so it's protected, safe from predators. So it's just got an earth floor which they love scratching around in. So this is the inside of their shed. So they've got some perches, some little nesting boxes. Obviously there's only 3 of them at the moment and a cockerel. But we did have quite a lot at one point, so nesting boxes. Another perch there. They also nest in that owl box up there, which is why the steps are there, because they tend to lay up in there, or when they were laying. It's quite rare that they actually do now. And then they have another perch here, so they've got their food sort of trays, water drinker. They've also got a big water dish outside, so they love having dust baths. They tend to go in the sand school as well and have dust baths. And this is sort of weeds that we've like thrown in for them to eat, which they've stripped actually, so they like them. So yeah, they also get sort of all our leftovers, so they're quite spoilt little chickens really. And then in here we have our babies. So it's just blocked off every sort of direction at the moment to sort of protect them a little bit. They're still a bit young to be out with the big ones, but we're sort of trying to acclimatise them to sort of living in the shed, and for these guys and the big ones to get used to each other a little bit as well, but while they're protected because they're still only young. So here they are. Hi. So all 15 are doing really, really well, which we're so pleased about. 15 out of 20 eggs hatched, if you saw my hatching video. If not, I'll link it down below. And yeah, all 15 out of 20 hatched. The others I don't think were fertile, they didn't try and hatch. So yeah, all 15 hatched and they're all doing really well. They're all still here. Hi! So they've got a water drinker here. They've also got perches, well, sort of sticks threaded through for them to perch on because they are starting to roost at night. My boyfriend also made them a automatic feeder sort of thing here. So we just pour the food down here and it sort of slowly trickles out and sort of comes out as they eat it. Hi guys! Hi! Hi, they're very curious, aren't you? Be nice. So there they are, they're really curious and I can't believe how quickly they've grown, and look at their amazing feathery feet. So there's a few different varieties here. I think they're all Belgian varieties of bantams. Barbaducas, I believe. So there's, and then different like colorations of them. Can't remember what they're called, but there we go. So I think we're able to tell now which are cockerels, or we're starting to be able to tell. So that one there definitely looks like a cockerel. So the ones with the big red combs, but then I'm still not very good at telling. So I guess we'll see how many cockerels we have. If we sort of only ended up with a couple, they would probably be alright to stay here with us, because there would be enough hens sort of between them. It's when you've got an awkward number compared to hens. So if you had like 10 cockerels and 3 hens, they would fight. But if you had a couple of cockerels and then loads of hens, I think they would be alright. So we're going to see how we go with them, but if we do end up with too many cockerels, we are going to have to find homes for them, which is really sad, because I'm quite attached to them, but they wouldn't really have a quality of life if they had to be kept separate, and then they'd have to be in little cages, and I wouldn't really want to do that, because our chickens at the moment have such a good life and they're sort of all pretty much free range and they can all potter around, and I wouldn't really want to keep some in cages particularly. So they've adjusted to living in here really well. We sort of weaned them off having a heat lamp and sort of slowly acclimatised them to being sort of outside, and it's quite warm in this shed as well, so they seem really happy. Oh, there's a bunny over there in the scrubby. You see the bunny? He's tiny. Oh, and birds. All sorts in here. Hi guys. You're having fun up on your logs. Hi. So this is how long their run is. So they do have quite a lot of room when they're not out. The reason we don't let them out all day is because quite a lot of people come up here with their dogs, and you can't trust all dogs with chickens really, especially when they flap. They tend to want to chase them, and they're quite good. They don't tend to go too far. They tend to just sort of potter around this general area. Sometimes they go down the lane a little bit, but they tend to be quite good, and they always put themselves away at night. Sort of as it starts getting dark, they put themselves in. Yeah, so that's the chickies. And while I'm here, I thought I would show you Sheldon's outdoor enclosure, which has gone absolutely crazy. Look at this. It's becoming quite difficult to see where she is. So these, I planted 2 nasturtiums and they've gone absolutely crazy. They shot up in no time at all. And look at all the flowers. So this one's like a yellowy one and this is an orangey one. And the idea is that they sort of climb up the wall. This one's sort of flopped over and it's coming out over here and over there, and it's yeah. Where even is she? Oh, there she is. Look at that. How ridiculous is that? Oh, so she's eating a nasturtium down there. Look at the size of her compared to these leaves. They are ridiculous. So I still need to come up with some more plants to go in here and maybe keep that nasturtium a little bit more under control. But here's how it's looking at the moment. But yeah, there's Sheldon. Looking quite pleased with herself. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video so I know to make more similar, and click that notification bell as well so you get alerted when I upload, because I know quite a few people haven't been seeing my posts. So thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!